So another species that you will see at race rocks is bill kelp. So this is this spaghetti-like structure that you'll see in the water, not just at race rocks, but throughout the Salish Sea. Now you may think, kelp, no one's gonna be interested, but it is actually fascinating. And as a biologist, I love to emphasize the kelp, because if it wasn't for the kelp, you wouldn't have all of this beautiful wildlife in our oceans, and also we probably wouldn't be alive as well. So it is great to be able to talk about the kelp. You may actually do a kelp talk. You'll pull some kelp from the ocean onto the boats with the help of the other naturalists, and you'll talk about the kelp with it in your hands and be able to get everyone to have a hands-on experience with the kelp. It really helps to engage them. So I do have a little example talk from our naturalist Heather, which will be coming up. But just main reasons why kelp is so fascinating. One, it is the second fastest growing plant in the world. It grows from the length of about your inside elbow to your wrist every single day. Pretty amazing. Can grow up to a length of about 35 meters, and it will extend right down to the sea floor and attach onto a rock with these little tendrils. This is called a holdfast. And then it will extend up to the surface to the big tubes that are visible on the surface of the water. These are just gas-filled parts of the bill kelp called the stipe. It is filled with gas and is actually how it gets its name bill kelp, because it looks like a bill whip. So it's pretty interesting. That big tube is filled with gas. You can cross-section it and pickle it, and people like to eat it. You can actually offer guests to eat it as well. But it's really important because it provides an underwater ecosystem of a forest where lots of little fish like to call home and lots of herbivores like to feed on the kelp. And in the talk we can go into a lot more detail about that, but I have an example of that coming up. But just a reminder to not forget about the bill kelp. It is really, really important.
And bull kelp has what we call a holdfast, which is kind of like a root system which clamps onto a rock or whatever is lodged down there, allowing it to stay fast on the bottom. And it doesn't, like, the roots do not spread out at all. It just holds onto that rock. Okay, so it doesn't need its nutrients from its roots. It's literally just to anchor it. And then this part here grows and grows and grows and grows. This is all solid, but right around this point here, it starts to become hollow. Hollow all the way up until it reaches this head area here, the ball of it, which is filled with gases, right? And those gases help it float at the surface. So you'll notice all along there, these things are floating, and then the fronds, or these leaves, to continue our comparison with trees, are what float at the surface and carry out the process of photosynthesis. These plants are extremely important to all of us. You can thank 7 of every 10 breaths you take